Hello everybody and welcome to another reaction video. And today we're going to be reacting to another band that I have heard of before. It's a band called Otep. Now I've never heard any of their music before, but I am aware of the band. So obviously I had to do a little bit of research, as I am wont to do, and I found Otep are an American heavy metal band formed in Los Angeles, California in 2000. And to date they have released 2 EPs, 8 studio albums and 1 live album. So they've been pretty active. I mean, in 18 years they've released essentially 9 albums, so that's not bad. It's like 1 every 2 years. It's pretty good. The track we're going to listen to is a track called Confrontation. Tried to do a little bit of research on the song, couldn't really find anything about the song, but as usual I've got the lyrics up here so I can read along and see if I can discern any meaning behind it. And yeah, as usual I'll put a link to the original video in the description below, if you want to check this video out uninterrupted, because I am going to pause it every now and then to give my thoughts throughout the track. And yeah, I think we'll just get straight on with it. So yeah, Otep, Confrontation.
Don't be silent. To destruction and the hate sustaining me. Always safer or in danger, drowning in atrocities. Riot gear, the slaves are here, piling corpses high. It's the rich man's war, but it's the poor that fight war. Capitalist clowns, more enemies and allies. No WMDs, who gives a fuck if they die? Just kill them all, watch them fall, skin the world with their lies. It's the rich man's war, but it's the poor that fight.
Just a very quick snippet of it there. It's got quite an interesting feel to it. It's almost similar to a female-fronted Slipknot in a manner of speaking, but not quite. The song seems pretty straightforward with its meaning here. It's obviously about war and the fact that, like, the people that like initiate wars, like your politicians, your higher-ups in the military, they're like sitting behind their desks quite happily, contented to sit there and watch the poorer people die for the country whilst they sit behind their desks all happy and not having to concern themselves with it. Where is it? Yeah, there's a line there. Here's your introduction to destruction and the hate sustaining me. Are we safer or in danger, drowning in atrocities? Riot gear, the slaves are here, piling corpses high. It's the rich man's war, but it's the poor man's fight. So that seems pretty straightforward. It says riot gear, the slaves are here. So the slaves are here being the soldiers that are sent out to fight for whatever the higher-ups deem worthy of mass killing. And it says it's the rich man's war. Again, the higher-ups, the political people, but it's the poor that fight, and that's obviously the soldiers. And then it carries on. The more capitalist crimes, more enemies than allies. No WMDs, who gives a fuck if they die? Just kill them all, watch them fall, skin the world with all their lies. It's the rich man's war, but it's the poor that fight. So that's obviously taken into account, you know, it says there more enemies than allies, which seems to be the way at the moment. Everybody's at war with each other. And then there's the no WMDs, which seems to be a bit of a hint towards the I can't think of the one it was now, but there was the war where they were looking for weapons of mass destruction and they didn't find any, and it turned out that the fight was just over oil anyway. And there's that line, who gives a if they die? It's basically the way that these higher-ups, the government, seem to think is like, we'll send them to war, who cares if they die, we're safe. As long as we get what we want, who cares? So yeah. Let's carry on.
My religion of resistance, challenging everything, radicals and dissidents of creativity. We are the children of the seeds you hide in this rich man's war, where the poor just die. More deception and greed, more wars and disease, more lies from the high mind who seek to deceive a weak nation of need, like silent thieves in the night. It's the rich man's war, but it's the poor that die. Stand up, speak out. Stand up, speak out. Strike back, they don't know what they started. Confrontation. Stand up, speak out. Strike back, stand up, speak out. Strike back, they don't know what they started. Confrontation. This is my battle cry. Defy the lies of the tyrant race, with a fist in the air and a finger in the crowd. Defy the tyrants, don't be silent. 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 Stand up, speak out. Strike back, stand up, speak out. Strike back, they don't know what they started. Confrontation. Stand up, speak out. Strike back, stand up, speak out. Strike back, they don't know what they started. Confrontation.
I have to say, it is pretty good. The music is really quite heavy. One criticism I do find, though, is that the song is rather repetitive. I know it's common for like a lot of tracks to have a chorus that is repeated a lot, but there just seems to be a lot of repetition of it. And I can see the message that they're trying to get across. It's like stand, fight, speak, fight, strike back. It's like stand up for what you believe in. You're being sent to murder and kill all these people at the behest of the government, and the only reason they're giving you is we want you to. They make up all these excuses as to why you should go and attack these people. It's like, oh, they've got weapons of mass destruction. Yeah, you gave them to them. They find all these reasons to fight, and they're always going on about these terrorists are attacking our land, and they're only attacking our land because we attacked them first. But it's just the way it always seems to be. It's like there's always fighting, there's always conflict, there's always confrontation, because people just cannot leave well enough alone, and people just cannot get along. There's always got to be something they're fighting and arguing over, whether it's religion, whether it's resources, whether it's well, anything. People just seem to want to fight about anything these days, and that's pretty much what this seems to be about. But yeah, it's a pretty good song. It's very repetitive. I'm not sure if it's something I would go back to. This specific song, I don't know if it's something I'd go out of my way to listen to again and again. But it's, I don't mind listening to it. Let's carry on. I think the song's pretty near its end anyway, so let's carry on. turns out I paused it right near the end of the song. That was pretty bad timing on my part, but there we go. As I said before, you know, I quite like it. You know, it's got a good energy behind it. The music is really good, really heavy, but overall the song itself is very repetitive. So, you know, it's not a bad song by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not a great song. It's an okay song. You know, it's got a great message behind it, and as all of you know, I really, really like songs that do have a strong and deep and important meaning behind it, and this is definitely one of them. And it's a topic that seems to be covered quite a lot, I've noticed, in some of the tracks that I listen to. I mean, there was one by Ginger that covered this similar sort of topic, and that was a great track. That was an absolutely fantastic track. And, yeah, I mean, it was, like I say, it's a good track, just not brilliant. Very, very repetitive in lyrics as well as the riffs. The riffs were very... I mean, they were very, very heavy, but they were very repetitive. There wasn't much variation, tempo shifting, or anything to the music. It's a song I wouldn't mind listening to again, but I wouldn't go out of my way to listen to it again. Obviously, as I've said before, I'm not going to judge a band just by one track. So, you know, I will have to go back and listen to some other tracks by them. Yeah, I quite liked it, but I wasn't blown away by it. And her vocals were very impressive. There's a lot of people who seem to... Well, I know a couple of people that have a real problem with female vocalists. They seem to think it's a... I can't think of the word I'm looking for, you know. They think it's just a way to get people interested in bands. Like, oh, they've got a female singer. You know, a gimmick, that's the word I was looking for. So, I know some people that just think female vocalists are a gimmick. There's one person I know who refuses to listen to any music with a female vocalist, which I find really, actually quite annoying. Because clearly, as you can see by her, Angela Gossow, I think her name's Tatiana from Ginger, you know, these women are very, very talented vocalists. And, you know, they've got the clean vocals and they've got the harsher growled vocals. I mean, her harsh vocals aren't as harsh as some that I've heard, but still, they're very, very good and very impressive. You know, so you cannot deny the skill of them. So, yeah. Good, but not brilliant. And I'll leave that as it is. If anybody would like to suggest a track for me to listen to, then please do so by all means. You can put a comment in the comment section below. I have now actually started a Facebook page for Metalhead Reacts as well, so you could message me on there as well, or you can message me on Instagram as well. But yeah, we'll leave that as it is. And I would just like to say as well that Metalhead Reacts channel is a proud supporter of the Sophie Lancaster Foundation. If you don't know who Sophie Lancaster is, I highly recommend having a read up on it. It's a horrible, tragic story which highlights basically a situation that is all too prevalent and too common with people of alternative musical lifestyles. They're basically trying to put an end to hate crimes. They're trying to help people that are suffering from prejudice and hatred and intolerance of their beliefs, their tastes and stuff like that. So, you know, they're a charity that's very close to my heart, because, you know, the things that they're fighting against are things that I've suffered through myself, and I'm sure many of you metal fans out there have possibly encountered yourself. So, you know, if you want to support them, there's a link down in the description below. But they're no way endorsing me to do this. You know, they're not a sponsor or anything. It's just something that I strongly believe in, and I want to do my part to raise awareness of the charity to try and help put an end to hate crimes and prejudice and intolerance against people of alternative lifestyles, whether it be musical taste, sexual preference, gender identity, whatever. You know, something I strongly believe in, something I strongly support. But we'll leave that as it is. thank you all very, very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.